One of the most prominent music genres recently is the music biopic, with this year boasting four prominent ones. The one I'm reviewing is about the Northern Irish rap group KNEECAP, a group of Republican rappers who have caused notoriety due to their lyrics that aren't that sympathetic to the British, and that their verses are in the Irish language. Unlike the other biopics mentioned, this film doesn't have big names or up-and-coming actors taking roles of the rap group, but they play themselves in a manner similar to the Beatles movies from the 60s, but with more drug use. Set during the late 2010s, the film is a fictionalised retelling of the group's origins as young people living in Belfast in the aftermath of the Trouble, and having to deal with the lingering issues still prevalent. Nielse's father, played by Michael Fassbender, is a former IRA member who is still on the run from the authorities. Liam has repeated run-ins with the police, and a confusing relationship with a Protestant girl, and JJ is having to lead a double life as the group's DJ and as a teacher at an Irish language school whose girlfriend is campaigning to get the Irish language recognised by the Northern Irish government. The film's themes of language and cultural identity is strong in this film, with most of the film being about how it's important to remember what came before, but also try and move on and create a new heritage. We see that through the group's personal struggles, often with them clashing with the police, distant Republican groups, and their own personal family issues as well, which all played out well. Also, this film is funny. I didn't want to bury the lead on this, but while the film is filled with a lot of weighty themes and ideas, it still finds times to be funny and creative, so it isn't overweight with a lot of issues. Again, like the aforementioned Beatles films, where they often went into surreal vignettes, this film has a chaotic and darkly fun comedic energy that goes down great with crowd, especially one surprising cameo. My one complaint is that the ending is a bit abrupt, with one sequence which is supposed to be tense, not succeeding in that area because, well, the people involved are alive and playing themselves in the film. Overall, KNEECAP is a fun and energetic good time at the movies and a fun little antidote to those who might have gone tired of the formulaic biopic movie. Go seek this out. From revenge director Colleen Fargate comes The Substance, a body horror film about Elizabeth Sparkle, a celebrity fitness instructor, played by Demi Moore, who is given the sack when she hits 50. Desperate to reclaim her fame, she decides to take the titular drug known as The Substance, which grows a younger version of herself called Sue, played by Margaret Cayley, who is both linked to her but also very independent. Right from the get-go, I could tell this film was going to be great. The film owes a lot to other body horror directors like David Cronenberg or Brian Yuzna, with its sensibilities leaning towards Yuzna, but with an added element of New French extremity and Dorian Gray thrown in for good measure. They work with these themes of body dysmorphia, aging, and sexism rather well. The makeup effects also look great in this. I don't want to spoil what they are or how they're employed in the context of the film, but it's a magnificent feat, and I hope the makeup team get their flowers during awards season. The direction of this film is on point as well. Fargate's framing of the human body is creepy and disturbing, with lots of uncomfortable close-ups and puts the film right up in your face, making it hard not to look away, especially in the body horror sequences. The film is also visually strong, with little dialogue. It carries the film and tells the story in a clear fashion. And on a cinematography front, everything feels paradoxically clean, but also dirty at the same time, with lots of oversaturated dark colours being used to convey a grimy but glamorous feel to them. On the performance side, it's also strong in that department. In a supporting turn, Dennis Quaid is an enjoyable presence as a slimy TV exec who brings a heightened sense of derangement, but it's Demi Moore and Margaret Cayley who are the performers who nail this film. Their performances complement each other, Moore managing to strike a fine balance between playing straight and going for broke, and Quayle doing the more show-offy parts, capturing a useful essence, but having an air of creepiness to it. The Substance is one of my favourite films of the year, and you should definitely check it out. It's wild and over the top, but still a great examination on the themes of fame and self-image. Halo, saya Jonathan dan bagi siapa pun yang menonton dari Indonesia atau berbicara bahasa tersebut, maaf jika ada nama yang mungkin saya salah ucapkan dalam ulasan ini. From Timo Tjahjanto, a big name in action and international film circles, known for delving into the action genre with films like Night Come For Us and Big Four, and its horror films, like the May the Devil Take You series, or his segments in the VHS movies. And next year, he's going to be directing the next Nobody film with Bob Odenkirk, comes The Shadow Strays, an action film about a group of clandestine assassins called the Shadows. When a member of the team, codenamed 13, messes up during a mission, she is put on the bench, but gets involved in a conspiracy involved in local Jakartan criminals, and things spiral out from there. I wasn't familiar with Chahantol's action films. I've seen most of his horror movies, and they're good, and the only action film I've seen of his is his comedy The Big Four, which is also good, and I can happily report this film is great. Right from the get-go, this film showcases the type of action you're going to see. Visceral, intense, and bloody. I can't show you any clips from the film, mostly because I could get content ID'd, but also this film is very, very violent. Chahantol's skill as a horror movie director works well here in the action, as it is gory, but not over the top, and that doesn't create a tonal imbalance with the film, and there's emotion felt with every punch and kick and each character deals out. It's really good. On the performance side of things, Aurora Ribeiro gives a damn good performance here. She gives an intense and raw element in the action moments, but combines it with an element of innocence, more in the lost sense, but barely holding on to it. Opposite her is Hannah Malasan, as a Spear, who isn't in the film as much, and if there is anything to criticise in this film, it's that there isn't a lot of the Shadow Strays in the film, and they only make sporadic appearances throughout the film, but those moments are important as it ties into the film's themes and is a good bit of characterization from Malasan's character. The film also has a lot of themes that have also shown up in Chahantol's other works, stuff like Found Family and Being on the Margins, that characterises previous work shows up here and is played to good effect here. The film is a dark story, but how it shows how connecting with people can come together and help each other stops it from going totally bleak, and giving the film moments of calm before things get brutal. The Shadow Strays is a solid action film, one of the best of the year, with magnificent set pieces and performances throughout. The film is currently streaming on Netflix. You should do yourself a service and check it out. 日本語を話す新潮者の皆様に言葉の誤りについてお詫び申し上げます。Mononoke, not to be confused with the Hayao Miyazaki film, was an anime series that was a spin-off of Ayakashi Samurai Tales. The main premise of the show was about a mysterious medicine seller who gets himself into various supernatural encounters with Mononoke, a type of Ayakashi that linger in the human world. I love the series for its dark and eerie atmosphere, and the beautiful and complementary animation. But I was excited for the movie, and I can proudly say that Mononoke, the movie, Phantom in the Rain, is well worth the wait. This time, the film sees the medicine seller having to deal with the goings-on and an Oku. For those of you who don't know your Japanese history and had to do a quick Google halfway through the movie, an Oku was an area in the Edo castle where one related to the shogun lived. In the film, there's something serious going on that may or may not have connections to the disappearance of the concubine. Now, if you know the inner workings of an Oku, then you know that it didn't allow male adults in, so most of this film is actually focused on two new characters, Asa and Kame, as they deal with the inner workings of the Oku. Now, this would seem like a cop-out, not having the medicine seller be the main focus, but I liked it, because some of the best stories from the show mainly had other characters be the main focus and the medicine seller be an observer who was to solve the supernatural issue. Think of the Jashiki Warashari or Nopabera Bo arcs, and you can see how this film goes. Asa and Kami here are compelling, and seeing them deal both with the essential office politics and the supernatural elements works well. Remind me of stuff like Black Narcissus or that Sydney Sweeney nun movie Immaculate that came out earlier this year. As I mentioned those arcs on the show, the film does borrow those arcs' themes and observations about women in society's role. Sure, Asa and Kami are free to fulfill their roles in the Oku, but they're still contained within on building and have to make sacrifice to a shogun who we don't see much in the film. It's a fascinating theme that connects the film to the show. The horror elements here are strongly used effectively. The film carries the series' eerie and creepy atmosphere, but with a bit more fast pace than the show. Lots of rapid editing. While it would be a bit disoriented, it still works to keep moving the film forward, but still making it very deliberately odd and unnerving. Now, this is an anime film. How's the animation? It's great. Like a lot of film continuation of shows, the animation looks a bit upgrade. While the animation of the show was great, the film has a more wider scale. Colour palette of the film is a bit more brighter and vibrant, which creates a great contrast to the horror aspect of the film. That also makes it a little bit darker, but there's an natural element to it. The film character designs are also good, making it strike a fine line between what you'd call a recognisable anime style with an pure painting look. Praise to director Kenji Nakamura, who also directed the anime series, and here brings the full style of the show to the film with a bigger, grander style. Mononoke the movie, Phantom in the Rain, is a vibrantly creepy film. The film brings the show's iconic style and animation back and goes all in with a grander scope that a film would allow, but a TV show would not. Even though there are some elements I kind of feel like are left hanging, probably because this is the first part of a film trilogy, so that obviously will be followed up in two sequels. You can watch the film if you aren't a fan because it's a standalone film, and the show as well. Both are currently streaming on Netflix at the time of recording, and I full-heartedly recommend you watch it. Hey, do you like movies? Do you like movie reviews? Then this channel has stuff like that. There's Watch This Space, my film review show where I view recent films, and I also make short films, like Correspondence, which is very unique. If you'd like to see stuff like this, then please subscribe to stay updated on my work. Also follow my social media channels as well, so please subscribe to my channel.